Oh, hello, hello, hello. This is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin. These wonderful people have agreed to come and play a game with me tonight, and that makes me happy. These wonderful people are, because he waved, Sean. Tell us about yourself.
I'm Sean with Dolls for Donors. Hoping to be getting some stuff where I'm still waiting to get the last confirmations of stuff, but do some charity games, raise some money for uh, one of the hemophilia related organizations. They basically send kids to summer camps.
That
So
is absolutely awesome. Keep us up to date as you gain more information,
we'll do.
please. Next, let's go over to. I'm going to stick with your online names, Primus. Hello.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aaron. I also go by Primus. You can find me over on Twitter at Primus_Cats. You can find me here on Fridays playing Mickey Mick O'Houlihan, our resident Chad. Or you can find me over on Charlie Xavier D&D over here on Twitch on Tuesdays, playing June Seabreeze in Dragons of Stormwreck Isle.
Cool. Have you got a clip or a link for that?
I can.
You will have in a minute. Meanwhile, Eddie.
Oh, hi, my name is Eddie Elfman. I'm an Edmonton-based voice actor. You can find me Friday nights, which is tonight. Congratulations, you've made it. It's the end of the week. Playing Tyler Nicky. I think Jones is what I said is my last name. Don't look into it. Don't play it back. And then Monday nights, I play a Buffy the Vampire Slayer TTRPG. Same place, more or less same time, where I play Miss Cheryl Daw, who is just trying to like dabble with a little bit of dark magic and not having it consume her entire essence or being. Very fun, surprisingly fun campaign. So go give that a check. And you can find me elsewhere on the internet and other pockets on voices.com, on Instagram, and on the TikTok. So go click on something, and maybe there'll be some new stuff on there in the next week or two once I stop being lazy.
I love working with creative people because the thing I hear more often than anything else is I haven't done anything recently, but and what they mean is they got 47 things on the go. They just haven't put the finish stamp on any of them yet. Usually, but
Mental Health Week.
Yes. Oh, I'll drink to that. It's coffee, but that's probably best. We saved this person for last because there's a special announcement that goes along with it. Stoller, Dasher, hello.
Hello, everybody. I've been sitting on a big old goose egg, and I'm going to tell you that in just a minute. First of all, you can go ahead and find me on my own Twitch. I am trying to get back into streaming. I'm just having trouble because I'm only using one monitor. But since it's big enough, I think I might be able to split it in half. Anyway, so now for the big news. Coming this Thursday, we are going to be dun, dun, dun. I'm going to be part of the cast that is going to be playing the Fool's Gold campaign. Yes, you heard that right. Fool's Gold.
Yes.
Yes. That's made famous by Dingle Doodles. Dingle Doodle. Doodles. Okay, I can't pronounce the name because I'm too excited. On YouTube, where they all start off by getting attacked by a Tarrasque.
Yes. On the YouTubes, no less. Yes.
On YouTube's, no less. They have done a Kickstarter and now have their own what do you call that? Their own little thing, their own little book on
setting book.
Yep. On how to do the Fool's Gold campaign. So me and a couple of other people are gonna get together on starting this coming Thursday, and we're gonna play through the Fool's Gold. I'm going to be playing Luna. She's going to be our wild magic sorceress.
Oh, those are always fun.
This will be fun.
1 in 20 times, they're even more fun. There are a ton of people in the cast. Running it all is our very own Sans, and the rest of it, I think that's well, unless anybody else would like to reveal themselves as being part of the cast at any point, they could go ahead and do so. But let me just say, when the cast call went out, there was a flood of a response, and we got a ton of talented people.
Oh,
So
yes.
it's coming. Watch it. From Tangor Productions, in fact. And you
Yes.
can find out even more details over at our Discord, which is there. And you can see all the things, but that, our big show, will now be advertised each evening between now and the start next, as you say, Thursday. But that's far, far
I'll
away.
be there.
With that, it's not next Thursday, though. It's today. And that means we are back and going viral. So, the four of you have just changed history again. And you can tell when you come back this time. It's really obvious. Everything is, the word I kept using last week at the end of the show was safer. You can see windows that don't open as far as they used to, pop out safety nets on the side of buildings, traffic circles that are slower than they're used, they've got speed bumps built in. Just accidents are, you can see, taken much more seriously. In fact, some of the older structures you can see are wrapped in almost a metal filament where they put frames around them to support them. They've gone to that level. As you drive past, you can sort of look around and see what you might pick up is that there's kind of a payoff for that. London is borderline boring. It's
Nice.
You can look around and see, like, it's hard to find exciting things to do here. Even the playgrounds are very soft and low, and the slides are only this high, and everything is just hyper safe. Don't worry, you guys have got 6 missions left. You can fix this.
Oh, guys.
Especially with 2 of them being before that one.
Yeah.
Is the London Eye now like half the size? Like what's
We have like
No,
like-
but you can't go to the top anymore.
taken London
yeah,
and
there's a
wrapped it
safe
all in
level.
bubble wrap.
Kind of, yeah, kind of.
these jet skis aren't going as fast as they were before?
There's all the extra flotation.
Explosion
They're almost
wasn't
like
that
they look
explosion.
like little tugboats.
There's like a limit on the throttle.
Yeah,
There's a governor's pin in it.
yeah.
Huh.
You
If we
Oh
pull
man,
off
I
a
can't
bit, I
go
might
as
be able to fix this.
fast.
I might be able to fix this if we can pull off.
Well, as it is, you get to the place where you've got to get off them anyway to go and see Callum, who is conveniently close by. Medium speed car chases, yeah, in bumper cars.
I
If
try
you
and go
want to
super
have
fast on
if
my
you want to
bike.
have a medium speed car chase, you have to register, and you go to the medium speed car chasing arena, and you signed a bunch of documents and wear a helmet and a Hans device. Yeah.
Do I
Yeah.
still have my skateboard? Is it still a skateboard?
Yours went with you, so yes,
Okay.
yours is still a skateboard. You look outside and see them riding something. You're not quite sure how they put wheels on a marshmallow, and they've all got this sort of collar thing on, like this, like almost like a ruffled collar. And you see one of them fall, and before he hits the ground, it goes, whoomp, and
Oh no.
kind of a safety collar. He gets up and he's got like an airbag in the movies, not real life, but it's still full.
I googled Tony Hawk.
Oh, the safety coordinator.
Oh, no! Yeah. Thank you. I was laughing so hard. That was perfect. Yeah.
Tony Hawk's Pro Safety 3.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, okay. It's just it's infotainment. Okay.
Yeah, you go around
That's
doing a lot of
totally-
math to make sure you land correctly if you were foolish enough to do this stunt.
Oh.
Yeah, he's got his robotic, crash test on these studies. Shows
Yeah.
this is why we don't do this trick.
And you get back to Callum's apartment. And I'm assuming you go in or up to the door.
Sure.
Who opens the door this time? Always like that.
I'll bet.
Okay, Blake, this time you kind of take the last couple steps up the stairs and the door slides open. And for once, he's not watching TV, and you hear, "Oh, they're here!" And then he starts to stand up, and you hear a horrific crash, just a smashing sound. Oh, how can you call that a safety device? 42 crash, 42 times this week alone. Crash, bang. Ah, Christ, you better come in here. It doesn't look like I'm getting out.
She runs
Just
over.
jump, shuffle
Approach
around.
Yeah.
Cautiously.
Yeah, Blake is
Like,
gonna run over
yeah.
to where they're at, where Callum is at.
You walk or look into the living room. And he had his big sort of lazy boy recliner, and it's now got this safety getting up apparatus attached to it. But when he stood up, it caught his kilt. And when he tried to go, he's fallen to the floor. When he got mad at it and kicked it, he's kicked through the framework, and now his foot's stuck. And his kilt's stuck, and one of his socks is starting to come down.
Oh, that's
And he
I
can't
don't
reach his,
know.
can't reach his
Do you want
drink.
us to come
Mm.
back? You're kind of exposed. I'm gonna go to the
He
bathroom
grabs-
and
he grabs the chair, pulls it out. Oh, but he's blocked the view. Yeah. I cannot reach my drink.
Oh, right. Here you
Blake's
go.
gonna, yeah, I was gonna say
And
Blake's gonna grab the container or the bottle
Yeah,
and just kind of
it's
say,
got a
"Open
timer
wide."
on it. You go to pour and nothing will come out. You look, there's a small timer on the neck that is counting down from 5 minutes.
I guess it doesn't take into account accidents. That's awfully odd that the accident preventer doesn't take into account for the accidents.
what did we do, Callum?
Yep. You did a good thing. You saved
What?
1 billion lives all around the world, all over the. There's almost 9 billion people now. It spread from here because it was a great place to live. People were living a very long time because they weren't dying in accidents. Another city started doing the same thing, and then it turned into an industry as it always does. And now there is 9 billion people.
That's like a lot of billions more than there were last time.
Well, 1.5, and he kicks off his shoe that's through the frame and starts pulling. The sock stays, but he's pulling his big hairy ginger leg out.
So,
So,
I mean, you said it was sort of a good thing, but I mean, I definitely can see that we've got some problems. But it was all for the better, though, this time.
well, kinda. And he reaches up for where he is and grabs the remote and hits the button. The screen comes on. There was no sports on this time, but the map pops up. And he says, this was a wee bit weird. It's gotten looser in one direction but tighter in another, so the net gain's about fuck all.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what to do with it other than that. And crunk, he finally pulls his foot out. Other than to just kind of move on. He starts working on where his kilt is stuck in the framework.
So you said it's getting a little tighter in another area. So what area would that be?
It's over by the Tower of London. I cannot be more specific, but
Okay.
and if you do look, there's actually several that are several of your locations. The
Oh
Tower
yeah.
of London Cell Key is at the Towers Museum, as is the Guy Fawkes hat.
Oh, well, we did something that was a big accident. So maybe we do one that's I don't know, a little bit more like less safe? Do we want the gunpowder plot sense dangerous?
And as you say that, he puts his foot on his side of the chair and just heaves with all his might, and that kilt rips and gives way, and he sort of tumbles back from the chair. In my mind, everybody looks away. Yeah, everybody
You're
looks away.
supposed to have shorts on if you're being active
Hey.
and you're wearing a skirt. It's just what Silas says immediately.
Oh, sorry.
True specimen, apparently.
He grabs the bottle,
my
looks
poor
at it,
eye.
still says 2 hours or 2 minutes and 30 seconds. He bangs it on the side of the table. Shit! It didn't break. It's also made of a safety glass. Puts it down so he's
Mick
looking
just
at the
reaches
numbers.
into one of his various pockets
Oh.
on his biker jacket,
Yeah.
and he pulls out this like old style, almost like Civil War style flask and
Yep.
offers it to Gollum.
Yeah.
What type of Civil War
Actually-
style?
Actually, I got something better.
We do both.
Blake
Yes.
grabs the bottle and uses her electrical disruption
Oh, yes.
There, electrical
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
to disrupt the lock,
Mhm.
thus making it open and say bottoms up.
For the purpose, yeah, no roll necessary. I would give you this one. You just, and suddenly it goes to 0.000 and starts to flash. Then it starts to do that cool thing, the alphanumeric error. Yeah, and yeah, you hear the little flap go clank, zzz, 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 and a tiny bit of electric smoke comes out as the system burns out. Callum looks at you, Blake, says, I've never wanted to kiss someone so much in all my life, but instead, and he grabs the bottle and just dunk, 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 dunk. All right, some of for the rest of you. It only lets you have one bottle open at a time.
I can fix that.
Oh,
Mick takes a swig of his
shh, shh.
own
I'm
puts his flask away.
worshipping over here. This better be good. He looks at you. Yeah. He looks at you.
Yeah,
like, yeah.
Column, you know, I used to have an old friend of mine. His name was Dante Pippin. He had a really funny joke for what he called bars. You want to know what he called bars? He called them licensed tabernacles. For those who don't know what a tabernacle is, it's a religious thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
It's the
yeah.
Licensed
I
Tavern.
didn't-
Yeah. Licensed Tabernacle. Yep.
Anyway,
He sits up. and-
Nothing on Tyler's face.
Yeah,
as everybody's talking and he's getting into his little spiel, she's just going around and disabling all the other bottles.
Yep. Popping all the bottles.
Hey,
Fair
me.
enough.
They are going around.
So with that, I'm just going to bring the map up and get rid of the ones that we have done. We've done 1, we've done 3, we've done 5, and we've done 10. So you kind of sound like you almost know where you want to go already. Callum is watching the little numbers all go to the 0 and the error message, each one like it's its own little Christmas. He's walking down oh, there's another, oh, there's another, oh, there's another.
While I'm doing this, why don't you get to the point, Callum?
Well, it looks like you can do any one you want, but perhaps trying to loosen up around there, there's kind of a naughty thing going on at the Tower of London.
Well, we got 2 of them in that area, it looks like. One, the Tower of London itself, and the other is the gunpowder plot.
Which is in the Tower Museum,
Yeah.
which is, I believe, in the Tower of London too, isn't it?
It is indeed, yes.
Mm-hmm.
There's a key to the Tower of London inside the Tower of London in the museum under lock and key. Yes.
And then the other is
The
the
key to the tower kept in the tower for the tower.
Yes, if you've ever locked yourself out of the house, you understand this completely.
The key is safe.
Yes.
very safe.
So that is one of the options. The other one is that was mentioned. I mentioned it because one of the players mentioned it. The hat, Guy Fawkes hat. The gunpowder plot.
which is
So,
in
do
the
we want
same
to
place.
tackle gunpowder, or do we want to play with the Tower of London?
Either way, we're playing with the Tower of London.
Well, yes, of course. As long as I can get my speedy bike back, I don't really give a dang.
Anybody have any questions
Well,
about those
tricycle is-
missions for Callum? Might help you make the decision.
So with the changes that have happened, now it would seem that Guy Fawkes's actual events would have been quite a no-no according to what we've seen just on the way back. So did that all still happen the way it did originally?
It's hard to remember sometimes. They caught him at the last minute downstairs with all the explosives, and then they had a wee trial and flung him up.
Okay, so he did still try to do that. All right.
So yes,
Um,
that's the way that part of history is still written. It was still a rebellion. He was just rebelling against a much safer. No, pardon me. This is before. This is before London Bridge.
No,
No,
Isn't
the
it?
Oh no, sorry, gunpowder
plot
plot
is
is
after.
sorry. I was
Gunpowder is
I was
after.
looking at the Tower of London. Yeah, sorry. 1192. Yeah, so that is quite a bit after. So yeah, pardon me. But yes, it was still a revolt. It was just a revolt against a much safer
He was
overlord.
still riled up, but it wasn't
Yeah.
about something quite as bad.
I
They
kind
were
of
still
have,
colonials. They just had bigger, safer ships.
I think we should
Yeah.
tackle the key because
yeah,
the
like
gunpowder plot may be a little bit screwed because of what we've already done.
Well, I would say this though, you have to consider if we go after the key, that's actually something that's quite secure within the tower itself. That goes away. That might make a little bit more paranoid that somebody might come, breach them. But if only a
But,
half
like-
goes missing, we might be able then be able to come back in for that key. Because I don't know that we want to try to do both of these simultaneously. That would just, I think, make the world explode.
Callum says
Let's
the
get
key is near, fairly close to the where they keep the crown jewels, so the security there is a wee bit tighter than it is on the hat.
Oh. Might be worth
Uh,
trying to do the harder one first then?
There's always an
I mean,
also though,
like-
as he has a drink. Also, the key might get you back in the tower later if you got it first. Risk
Exactly.
reward and all that, you know. And he's running his finger down the line of all but identical bottles, trying to figure out which one next. He's back and forth and back and forth. And if you're close enough, you can see they're different by 1 year. He's got 1 year of each vintage, and he's trying to decide which one to go to next.
I kind of had an idea for us how to get into like the Tower of London for like the key.
Hmm.
I was thinking we could be like security checkers or whatever you want to call it. Like we're doing like a safety inspection to make sure all like the security and stuff is up to stuff.
Or we can pretend to be the security.
Well,
Could also lie like hell. Remember, you guys are powering up here, and you can use those lies in this part of the hologram too. It doesn't have to be only in the past.
well,
You guys
One
have
thing
done
we-
amazing work without hardly ever lying in this whole this whole series. It's kind of cool.
But
Yeah.
like, do you guys like that idea, or like, do you just want to have us just be the security?
Well, I think before we try to do that, we may need to do just a little bit of background check because it looked like that security is a whole different beast than what we were just experiencing 2 hours ago.
Mhm.
So we may need to verify what changes so that we're coming across legit.
There's, I mean, it's an open museum.
Yeah.
Right? You can go and
It's
have a
an
look.
But it's
Museum.
if we're trying to act like we all the security or checking for the security protocol, we need to know what ones we're actually supposed to be checking for because okay, look, guys, I may have done a few things like this past, but that past does not exist at the moment. So I really even myself would be a little hesitant. So maybe we just sit there and take an hour or so to peruse whatever they have for the internet still and verify what is safety regulations and such like that,
Might be
then
wise.
we can do
But
that.
also remember, I can go ahead and I have a visitor, sorry.
Oh, good.
I can also go ahead and disrupt the cameras and other things as well, plus walk on the ceiling.
And that's fine and dandy, but if we're going to be
I know.
potentially coming anywhere near the crown jewels,
Oh, we're
it's
not.
going
I
to be
don't want to
more
go near.
than, well, the key evidently is near that, so we've got to be careful that there's probably going to be more than just electronic surveillance. Pretty sure there'll be a physical presence, so
Have you
Need-
considered trying them both in one go? I mean, breaking into
the
the
crown
tower,
jewels and the key.
not that crown.
I like think
No,
he means the
not-
hat
not
and
the
the
Okay,
key.
okay.
Oh, you know how to distract me. You made me look away from whiskey with that. Not the crown jewels. But you can get one or the other. Because if you steal one and then leave, can you imagine what's going to happen to security after that? If you do one, pop back there, do another one and pop out, it's all sort of one big happy crime instead of two epic crimes. It's a fucking it's a matter of scale.
Okay, I like have maybe something. So like, let's have like two of us go for the key, and then the other two of us at that, not quite necessarily at the same time, but like one of us goes and messes with like the security hub point where like all the cameras and stuff are held to knock out all the cameras, and then from there they then go and get the hat.
Okay. That
Right.
seems to make sense. Do we've
Like
Blake
they
said
say,
that they can
sorry.
disrupt a lot of electronics. So does Blake want to be on the
I can be
electronics
on the
team?
electronics side. Yes.
Okay. I can
I've got.
lie to people pretty good, so I could
Well,
try
I've
and
definitely got the skills for infiltration, so I can definitely be, I guess, go for the key.
And I'm the muscle.
So the key, and sorry, I'm just making some notes here. As Callum says, yeah, as they say at wedding receptions and playing D&D, always split a party.
yeah, Ted and I can go for the key, and Mickey and Blake can go for the office,
And the hat.
The hat.
and then the hat. Yeah.
And Mick. All right, perfect. Got my notes. Got those two.
Definitely going to need to sit there and see about making sure we erase some of the
Footage.
records afterwards. I really like to go back. I do occasionally just go there to peruse, not
I got an idea for
peruse.
that. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
saw this
Didn't
in a movie once where they hit the rewind button on the recorders, let it rewind for about an hour or two back. Then they switched off the light for a moment, switched it back on, and hit play. And it just played what they were watching before, what was done before.
You've forgotten what you did to this world. They cannot, for safety reasons, they cannot bombard you with the searching lights and whatnot from cameras anymore without your permission. So as long as you don't accidentally sign anything on the way in, they cannot watch you anymore.
Wait,
Everybody always signs in because it's the safe thing to do. But you lot,
You actually get privacy?
aye, you've a right to it until you scream real loud.
I have a dumb idea of what I can do.
Well, all of them have
What's
worked up till now, and he just grabs a bottle off the
So-
shelf.
Mick pulls from his belt and pushes his hands together and extends out this bow staff. And he changes it into a blind man staff and pulls out a all black pair of sunglasses. So his plan is, since he's going for the hat, sounds like he's going for the hat.
Yep.
While Ted is working on the key, while Ted and
Yeah, you and Blake
Tyler
are
are on the key. Blake is on the cameras. So he's gonna act as a blind man going in.
Well, yeah, you and Blake
with,
are
like,
after the hat, and then these two are
Yeah.
after the key. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna be blind. Blake, you're gonna do the cameras. Let's do this all at the same time. Ted and Tyler, if this is the plan you guys agreed to, you've got the key.
Yes.
So
The-
real quick, Kevin,
Yeah.
you never gave us cards.
Oh, I didn't. Watch me go. Watch me do that.
Tyler's just staring at Mickey and going, "Are you like trying to be like an old timey visually impaired person? Isn't that a bit not cool?"
Well, there's still blind people nowadays.
I
so-
am not condoning what I am doing right now.
Okay.
I am doing it for reasons that I think make sense for this certain situation. I am not condoning actively impersonating a blind person.
Okay. All right, I'm just trying to understand properly.
You
But
don't.
we're
you
trying
can't
to
understand
save
what
the
goes on inside
universe.
my head. I don't
Yeah.
even
So
know what
it's-
goes on inside my head.
Okay. We're trying to save the
Oh.
universe, so maybe it's not that bad. I guess.
Ooh.
Okay.
Tyler gets his first glimpse of chaotic good as an option.
The right thing, the wrong
Uh,
way.
Results and reasons, right? Never mind. So yes, that's so Ted and Tyler. You guys are going like it's only 2 cases away from the crown jewels.
Okay.
We're gonna do the scene by scene thing, but what's your rough idea? Because we still got to build the scene where we, yeah. But what is your rough plan before you leave here and get there and start changing reality? What's the rough plan for the two of you?
Well, so the question I would have is, I realize, Tyler, you're younger. I mean, Callum, would you say like maybe like uncle and nephew type thing between me and him? Because I'm not thinking I'm quite old enough to pull off the father-son thing.
You could go as complete strangers. I don't see that it makes a lot of difference.
Well, I'll just say that's what I'm trying to play it off. If we do this and, you know, looking for
Fallback is that we know each other, or our fallback is that we're trying to test the security system.
Safety officers.
we can still try
Mickey
that.
suggested.
If you're gonna do that, you don't want to take that with you. And he points to your skateboard, Tyler, because it's not safety board. And you didn't have one of them colory things.
I suppose I can just have my miniature deck in my backpack, and no one needs to know that I have it on me. And I will leave my skateboard here. It's just very
And-
rigidly
Yep.
places it
And
up against.
there, you turn
freeway.
around and there is a big arched eyebrow on Callum. Like he is surprised. I expected you to fight more. Well done. And he comes over and like just extends a hand to shake your hand.
I'm trying
Or-
to
or-
showcase, showcase restraint, and that not people aren't things.
No
Stares at the
wonder.
whiskey bottles.
No wonder you can talk circles around people.
All right, so
Can I get rid of this one card or trade it in for another one because we're not doing side goals?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, we could try and be safety officers, or we could do uncle nephew thing. Because I'm not really the same voice as you, and I couldn't do an accent the last time.
yeah, what I was sitting there figuring is like, you know, you're my nephew from across the pond, so
Yeah.
we do that, but you still play the safety aspect to it because
Bring your
You've
nephew to
gone-
work day.
you've gone missing, and we need to test the security. So we don't sign in, therefore the cameras aren't tracking you.
Oh,
So when we start raising the fuss, like my nephew's missing and you running amok. Distraction factor.
Okay. Then I
Then-
should bring my skateboard.
How
You
you
got
gonna?
you get rollerblades. That might actually be better.
Well, I'm gonna roll. How cool are rollerblades?
Oh. I don't know.
I'll do a 1d8. It's not a.
You know what? I'm just gonna do that.
They're not cool at all.
That's all we have.
He goes, what? No, why would you think I had rollerblades on me?
Just everybody have another card. I don't. It's the easiest way to go. So yeah.
Oh,
And yeah, if anybody else has one that doesn't make sense, let me know.
can I get rid of a duplicate?
Yep, you can. Yeah.
Okay. Replace it. I have Heelys though.
Have all the cards.
That's just fine.
Okay.
Because anything that's going to basically, yeah, Heelys. If there's any stairs, just go near them. That ought to freak everybody out.
Oh, I can probably like get a sick vertical off some stairs. I'll bring my skateboard just in case.
I don't. How deep is that backpack of yours?
Strangely large. Has a lot of, and there's a whole like camera equipment set up, lots of like power supplies. It's like he rigged together something that's seemingly decently impressive. Very impressive for a child.
Need to make sure they don't see it walking in. That's going to be the key. All right. So,
Okay.
we go in and face that. We don't sign that away. We make sure that we can always come back if something's starting to go hinky. We have it. Okay, we've got this. You've gone missing, and you can't be tracked because you didn't sign in, so they can't track you.
Okay.
And then we get them looking for you, and if you're doing stuff, I can basically work on the case, getting that key.
Okay. And I got another side goal one. It's fine.
That's okay. But this is gotta be it because this is literally the last card in the deck.
All right.
I have to give you one out of my hand if you get another one.
Same. It's identical.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We can give that a shot. You give me the trigger and I'll.
We can get into the
Go off
case
someone.
and we can start, and I can get working on it, and we don't have to. We can use a distraction for us to get out. But if it starts to go down before I can get to it, then yes, we've got that as our backup.
Just like one quick side thing, this might be a good idea for us to have.
I know it's a double, but it's the only one I got left. So you guys got the whole deck.
Mick pulls out this little, like, it almost looks like a little Altoids case. He flips it open and it has 4 little in-ear communicators.
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that way we can actually coordinate.
Yeah.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
Standard role play rules apply. If you're doing that, you're talking to everybody on your thing. Yeah.
Yep.
That way we can all see it. Yeah.
Yep.
So with that, we got to kind of do them both together because we have to now build the scene. That was part 1. That was the plan. Now let's do the actual planning the entrance. Don't have to worry about that because you're getting in. Right. So number 1, the cell key is close to the crown jewels. So that's my fact. What do you guys have to offer as a counter to that?
The crown jewels are currently not on Steam because they're being what do you call
Polished.
it?
They do
Clean.
actually do the cleaning. Yeah, okay. Nice. Are away being cleaned. Okay. That makes that a lot easier because, yes.
Fewer
Okay.
people.
Beautiful. Also, less people there, too. This is a big deal. That's very smart.
Mhm.
Which actually partially, it's my next point, but it's already partially offset. During the day, when you guys can walk in, the area is generally full of tourists, including school groups. You've already got the crown jewels not being there, so there'll be less of this, but there's still some tourists present at all times. This isn't
So-
including the security. We'll get to that. Oh,
I'll
So-
say I'm not sure if it works for this, but to say
Yeah.
that like I used a previous scene to focus on an obstacle or situation, and I was there the other week with my school.
mhm.
Honestly, they like
Yeah.
don't showcase how like what's actually back there, and they make it seem like there's nothing really back there, and they kind of direct you away like with the natural signs. So it's really rare that people are walking around back there. At least tourists, you had to kind of be certain that you were going to go that way.
I like that. The knowledge that you would have is that because it's close to where the empty display case is now, and it's just a bloody key.
Yeah. There's
And
just a
there's
big
so
sign before
much-
you walk in there that's like no crown jewels, like
Yeah.
don't ask.
No,
Yeah.
Everyone assumes that there's
display,
nothing.
what is it?
Yeah.
Display temporarily closed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And because of that, and because of its location, yeah, you're this little pocket of quiet at the back. I love it. Change sheet. Having said that, the display is of the hat is on the main guided tour route. So while the key is kind of off to the side, hat is on the main tour because it's part of that famous hats from famous heads.
Mhm.
Just yeah,
The tour only comes around once every half hour. So in between the tours, there's little to nobody really in there because I'd rather go through with the tour.
that makes sense. Now, I'm done, and because I want this to be fun, this is your first big heist. So I'm giving each of you a chance to now add a thing. Well, I write down your names real quick. Blake,
Okay.
yeah, you ready?
Yeah.
What are you changing?
Okay, so this is what I'm changing. One of the dudes called out, one of the security dudes called out.
Okay.
One that happens to be the one that monitors those lovely little monitors.
Mhm.
Okay, so the regular
So-
monitor guard is sick.
The regular monitor guard is sick, so I'm dressed up as that regular monitor guard,
Okay.
saying that dressed in the same outfit at least.
Oh, and you sit.
Their
Oh,
replacement.
very believable, right? Because then the
So
idea
I
is you
can-
sit down to replace it. You're the new guy, and then you go zort. Oh no, it's all broken, and I don't know how to fix it. Yeah, beautiful. I love
Yep.
it. I love it.
And I'm gonna do
This
a
is how
Hudson
we
Hawk
play them.
thing. So yes.
Perfect. Other three? Who wants to go next?
Well,
Sure.
part of this with the safety, all that, and because the fact that the crown jewels are not on premise for display, there's
Mhm.
not a need for as much high-end train security.
Yep.
It's trainee week,
Mm.
so
Okay.
they're getting, the guards are not paying as much attention because they're busy telling them what they have to pay attention to. So
Yep. The
it's a lot of
guarding
work.
their
It's a lot of
new-
distraction of your
Yeah.
stuff. So these are the rounds that you make it. When you get to, you have to make sure you check here. But they're
they're
focusing on-
new and they're focused on something else. Plus, they're guarding empty cases. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna add in onto that. The reason why they're doing all that is because it's the beginning of the shift as well.
So yeah, that makes
So that
yeah.
would make a little more sense that way.
Yeah.
It's the beginning of the shift, and it is the week of November 5th. So there is a lot of Guy Fawkes impersonators with Guy
Yes.
Fawkes hats everywhere
Yeah.
amongst the
Oh.
Tower of London Museum that are doing extravagant, annoying bits, and they every once in a while will appear in random scenes.
It is November 5th, Guy Fawkes Day.
Yeah, it's that week, so there's lots of people
Hats
doing
everywhere.
obnoxious impersonations
Yeah.
of Guy Fawkes.
Well, oh, thank you. You that was for me, and thank you. Mick, yeah.
The idea I had has already kind of been stolen.
That's not stolen. Somebody else had it. Have a new one now.
Elaborated on.
Yeah, have a new one. Add a new one. What else do you want?
So, at the time Mick is going through, because he's pretending to be a blind person, they have to have somebody escort him.
Okay.
However, it is again one of the new security guards who doesn't really know how to do things. And as they're reaching where the hat is, that is when a group of Guy Fawkes impersonators burst in and all swarm the Guy Fawkes mannequin that the hat is resting on.
Oh, it's behind glass. No, it's not in public. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're in cases in a row. No, they would never have them out in the open. But you can certainly have them have a go at the guard, or start pestering the guard, or the guard. Yeah. The guard is at least worried about the
Display.
Guy Fawkes impersonators.
Being a new.
No, I'm trying to build something.
He's panicking.
Okay. So I imagine that each hat has its own specific entry case.
Yep. Yeah, they're like
And
jewelry
lock.
cases. Yep.
Yes. And it doesn't, and for whatever reason that day, the security guard missed unlocking it. So when the Guy Fawkes impersonators come in and distract the guard, I switch out my identical Guy Fawkes hat as is in age and everything with the Guy Fawkes hat in the case.
Okay, I'll give you the case isn't locked. That's the situation. What you do with that, you'll figure it out in the game. So, yeah, okay. So, with that, you look over. Callum is asleep in his chair. His other foot is caught in the metal railing on the other side somehow. He's got a bottle on each side, like he's holding two babies, and he's just passed him.
I think we should take the alcohol away from him. He's drinking
Yeah.
really profusely.
That's sort of like trying to take a baby cub away from a mama bear. We just leave that be.
But, okay.
He's fine.
He's fine. He stays here anyway. He doesn't go out anywhere. So
That seems worse. That seems like he really
Mick
does
just
need
toss-
help.
Mick
There's
just
no
tosses
support
a blanket
structure?
over Callum.
Yeah,
Mick just tosses a blanket over him.
Nobody's told you that he can't leave this property, but yeah, so yeah, you would have no idea, Tyler. Yeah, just this drunk guy that keeps giving out missions and drinking way too much. That's the boss. Yeah. Mhm.
And it's all right. If we're lucky, we'll change it and we won't have to worry about it, because honestly, it was just because they were all locked. So yeah, now that they're not locked, and hopefully we'll undo safety locks or something. I don't know. But yeah, we can do that. Then he'll be a lot calmer. He'll only be up like a one bottle a day thing.
That's okay.
That's mild.
Okay,
for him,
that's
what
you
we
just
figured
give
out.
someone a bottle at Christmas time. You don't drink one throughout a day.
You give
Scottish,
him one
that's
bottle
minimum.
for Christmas, and then you give him another for Boxing Day, and then you get
Oh yeah. Not a lot.
Oh, poor Tyler. Oh, the Disillusioned Teen of the Year award goes to
just shattering all these things.
his new book. Adults
No,
are
adults
awful.
are sad.
yeah.
All adults are sad.
Adults are sad. I like that even better. That's your book.
Mm.
Award-winning author at 14. Adults are sad. All right. So, with that, are you off? Like
Do
you
take
look at the
a-
clock?
do take a few minutes, take about half hour to sit there and just peruse the internet, looking for information on like some of these new safety features, new safety rules and stuff that have been put in place since our change, and kind of get an idea of and understand exactly why it's a good thing all these bottles are open.
Yeah.
Oh, we should probably get going, otherwise I might be joining him. Okay, that's
Well,
um,
not only that, what Blake will do is they're going to um there's obviously multiple computers because yeah, that's just the way it's gonna work.
Yep.
I don't care.
Yep. Oh yeah. There's
They're
these
gonna
screens
sit down
everywhere.
at a separate computer and hack in
Oh, from here before you go.
hack into the system to
Okay.
make it so that they are going to be the ones, basically following through with their plan, putting it into effect,
Yeah.
letting that security guard know who's not really sick that they don't have to work today.
Oh, so they change
They
your
get a day
schedule and all
off.
that stuff. Perfect. Give me a
So they
play
don't,
then.
yeah, and then
And you've got hacking as a skill, right?
yep. No.
Okay. You change. What do you lie? What is your lie then? Who do you lie to? We haven't decided that yet. Do you lie to the
Oh,
past, to objects, or to people?
People for me.
Yeah, I think.
I'm going to go with objects today.
Yeah, objects as well.
Yeah, makes sense for you. So, give me then a D. Yeah, give me a D10. You're good at this. You've got all kinds of time. Give me just a D10 to see how well you hack in. It's not a big deal. It's only
Oh,
easy.
pretty decent.
That's actually twice the hurdle I had set. It was a 3-4 hurdle. So double the hurdle means you get an and. You not only get in, you not only change the schedule, you give this person the day off.
With
You
pay.
also, yep, you do, of course. You also do it retroactively, so that it looks like it was done a week ago, as far as the computer is concerned. And you manage to clear your false persona as an approved guard through the system as well, because you double succeeded. So you're not just going in, but you're going in as a supposed pro. Does that make
Sweet.
sense? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. With that, anything else anybody wants to do before we march into the Tower of London?
Take me to the tower.
Gonna send pictures to my mom, just being like, another boring museum. And it's just like a brick.
Yeah.
The side of
Well,
like
it's funny you say it, because, well, it may very well be one of the most blood-soaked bits of land in all of London. It is a tower surrounded by its own castle walls, with no less than 15 other towers defending it. Some would say it's a comment on the people that are running the country at the time. Others say it's just a castle. They're defending
say
it
it's
all
just-
times, but from what? It's in the middle of their own city. In the beginning, it had a reason to exist. It was a place of retreat. It was London's last stand when it was first built. London was small enough that all the important people go hide in the tower until the fight was over. But that didn't last. The watchers in those 15 towers turned inwards and started watching their own. Over the years, kings, queens, knights, ladies, common criminals, and the highest of the high have all been locked up there to die. Fratricide, matricide, patricide, regicide. People locked away because they had legitimate claims to the throne. People locked away because they had illegitimate claims to the throne. Death in the Tower of London is politics by other means. And that is what you're walking towards. That is what you click the picture of. And I presume, oh, I shouldn't presume. Do you stream this as you walk towards this big, oppressive brick symbol of colonialism in downtown London?
if my views are still going up,
Oh yeah,
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. You're seeing the hey, he's live streaming. Hey, which means not only everything else, they've hit the notification bell as well. So they're waiting for your next bit. In fact, if you look down at the comments, some of them are guessing. You see, like, he knows the crown jewels aren't there, right? And just the whole thing. There's a whole group of people just waiting on your every move.
Good.
Perhaps the other three then are more likely to notice the sort of I mean, there's tension in the air. You're heading into a national monument, but it's kind of like a Wednesday sort of feel to it. Even though it is Guy Fawkes week, the rest of the city's kind of safe and quiet, calm, which makes it even more exciting when right outside the front, just as you get there, about half a block away, fireworks start going off in a garbage bin. Bang, 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 bang. And a bunch of guys wearing funny three-cornered hats running all directions. Ah, 5th of November, woo! There's little
Wow,
groups of them everywhere.
Starting early.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like July 4th at noon. It's like somebody's already going hard.
Yeah, no, that's actually the weekend before. it
Yeah, the
starts.
real hardcores, yeah.
Gotta prime
It's
these up.
June 30th. I'm practicing.
I celebrate my freedom whenever I like. That's what they. Yeah, I'll probably
all the days. I celebrate them
before
all
we
the
get
days.
to the
Yeah.
actual like place, probably rip on my skateboard and kind of weave back and forth, get some cool shots.
You're what now?
I'm
He
probably
did say he
gonna.
took it.
The one that
I did
you-
say that I took it.
Oh, you took it.
As long as
Oh.
we're more
Yes.
than a block out, I'll rip on my skateboard on the
Okay,
street to
I see.
try and get
Okay.
some cool angles. When you kind of curve left or right, low,
All right.
get some like upward shot of some of the cool
Hmm.
architecture from.
He gave it up
From
for about
below.
10 minutes.
You absolutely. You start doing the shots, and I presume you sort of drop into the mode. I mean, you're skating, you're shooting, you're producing, you're doing it all at once, right?
Mhm.
It takes you a couple of minutes to realize that people are watching. To be more specific, young people are watching,
Like real people?
like real human people watching you skate
Oh,
around.
that
yeah.
makes me uncomfortable. Okay.
But they're sort of your age or near your age. There's the ones that are slightly older, like the older teens that are looking at you like you're gonna get busted. But there's another group that's sort of your age to a year or two above your age that are watching like, yeah. You see the I wish I had that kind of guts look, right? You see them going. Like you are a badass all of a sudden.
Okay. Yeah, I'll like bounce from a nollie into like a board slide off of a railing
Oh yes.
and then
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
background do like a reverse and then kick my skateboard up and put it in my backpack.
Yeah. The
Give a
reservoir.
nod and just
Yeah.
like the side of my backpack lights up with my Twitch
Yeah.
my
account,
Twitch
yeah, going through the
account
roof.
name.
Yeah.
Give a nod to the fellow kids with my skateboard.
I love it. And yeah, so with that, I imagine just like the first scene of Reservoir Dogs, the slow motion walk down the alley, but the one on the right is on a skateboard doing tricks on the rails all the way down, while the other three are heading in seriously. But let's start with. Well, I mean, you're all getting inside fairly easily. You walk through this huge, heavy area that had a portcullis that's drawn, and the doors are this thick, and it is an oppressive place. When you get inside, the walls are high enough to block out the sun, except from sort of like 11 till 1. You know, there's just very little direct sunlight down here. The sun's all bounced off multiple walls to get down to the floor to this courtyard. The trees are sickly and overhanging. But straight across from you, past all the stables and the foolishness and all the frippery and the gift shops, inevitable gift shops, is the museum. And you can see a group of guards standing around the door being taught by one guy. There's one guy standing there with his tablet in his hand, reading a list and scrolling. As he reads each thing, you see him tap it, like, yes, I told them, yes, I told them, yes, I told them. He's doing that with a group of guards, and he kind of looks up as whoever approaches first and just. So who approaches first? Which group or person?
Ted will come up because Nick's going to need to be coming in with the cane, so
Yeah.
need a little more assistance. So
Yep.
Leaving us at the guards will have to deal with him. Ted will come in first and just nod and straight on through.
Yep.
Looking for that sign ledger
Oh yeah.
and walking right by.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. No one stops you. There's no one watching at the moment because they're all distracted with the guards out at the door. Um, Tyler, were you going basically with Ted?
A little bit after.
Okay. And
Kind of.
yeah, as you walk up with your backpack, the guard kind of looks over for a second and looks around like he's looking for the group you might be part of, but you just continue on. He doesn't say a word.
Oh, I'm an independent person.
Oh.
Says to the person in the trainee.
And it's like he's suddenly turned into the guy at the theater. He just sort of points at the door.
Motions.
He motions to the door for you.
Okay. You guys go get like a snack or something. You look hungry.
And
I'm
the
gonna
guy
try and
yeah.
influence their minds.
Oh, are you gonna lie to them? How many can you lie to now?
I can lie to two.
Okay. Would
If
you
it's
like?
two of them,
Yeah.
I can always lie to two.
you-
Yeah, as long as it's not like I'm just telling them that they're hungry.
Yeah. So those two
That helps.
plus, yeah, the rest of them, for the purposes of this, the rest of them have sort of dispersed and are heading around the inside of the tower to their positions, leaving only
Mhm.
two of them and the boss.
And would that be a D8 or
Um,
D6?
It would normally be a D8, but you played the be prepared card, so that boosts it. So
Okay.
give us a D10. And telling two
Ooh,
young
crit.
guys that oh wow, yeah, that they're hungry and they already were. So yeah, they buy it 100. You completely resist the potential damage. That's what the roll is for, right? The lie always works. They were always going to go. It was just whether you resisted the damage or not, which you did handily, not even a blink. They're like, yeah, they got like the mini donuts, and the two of them start walking off, and the boss goes, and then looks down, and you see him scroll for a second. He's got pages of unchecked boxes. He scrolls back up and just starts tapping boxes and scrolling his screen. And you walk in, and they're heading for the tiny donut shack. So the two of you are in, and the front gate is now unguarded for the other two. So you guys can just walk in whatever the hell you want. But let's keep going with these two because you guys are going after the quiet corner. So let's do you first. You head in. You are kind of almost bumped at the turnstile by 5 guys. Each one of them wearing a tricorn hat and a numbered like a not a jersey, but the little sort of aprony thing that runners wear with numbers on them. And
The bib.
the bib, there it is.
Bib.
The first one, it says November 1st. He runs past you. The second one says November 2nd. Third, fourth, the last one just has an explosion on him. And the 5 of them run in, and you see it's clearly something they've worked on. It's like they run in and they one at a time. They go 5, 4, 3, and they each fall to the ground. The thing is, the numbers are backwards from the thing. They say 5, and number 1 falls, and then 4, and number 2. And when they get to the last one, the guy goes, and in his excitement, he knocks his hat off of his head. You can hear the sound of security coming, but they're not here. What do you do? They're headed
so
for the hat, the other direction.
Yeah, looking at him, like, and just kept going.
Yeah.
Definitely using that and trying to basically listen to see if it sounds like guards are coming from the direction we want to go.
Yeah, they're kind of
Then-
coming from everywhere to the noise, but they're also, you can hear radio chatter and whatnot, that this is happening all over the tower at the moment. It appears like perhaps there might have been a WhatsApp group that had a thing planned for today.
Okay.
Speaking of which, just to get the timing right here, let's have the other two walk in. Blake, I think probably first, right? Because you want to get in control of security before everybody starts doing stuff.
Mhm.
Cameras? Right, perfect. So you walk in and there's nobody at the gate. You look over, there's the little room with security in it. You look inside, there's nobody sitting in front of all the monitors. I'll give you the door. I'm not even gonna make you hack.
Oh,
the
I
door.
got lockpick anyway.
Yeah, that's why I'm not even gonna make you worry about it. You open that door, you close it behind you, lock it. I assume change the password on the door so nobody can get in on you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then sit down and start to go ahead and give us a roll. for messing with the electronics. So a D10, please. A 7. You manage. What do you exactly want it to do? You want it to do that cycle, so you just recycle old footage.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I said, I'm going to do the Hudson Hawk thing where I'm
Yeah.
going to rewind everything for a
Yeah.
couple moments,
Yeah.
then push play.
And then just recycle it. Absolutely perfect. So you start doing that. You also that means you get to watch everything that's going on in here on at the actual live time while you're playing back the loop, right? So you see these guys go in. You see the Guy Fawkes guys. There are rings of Guy Fawkes people dressed in really not much more than a fancy hat. Some of them have put like a feather in it and stuff. But there's university student age people from all over the city just coming in. You can see it on the outside cameras. There's hundreds of them.
To play the part, Blake is gonna be the one that's yelling out all the orders to everybody else.
Absolutely, screaming and yelling.
They're over here, they're over here, they're over here, there, this, there.
Oh yeah,
there.
send them to the right places, the wrong places. Yes, send them to the right groups to the wrong places. Absolutely, just causing absolute mayhem. I love it. It's a mess. It is. It's Benny Hill levels of. It's that part of the skit, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's that part of the skit. Into that, Mick, you are utterly ignored. There's just too much going on. Like there's no one to help you. You walk up with your stick to the gate, through the gate, across the courtyard, into the museum, past a bunch of rowdy frat boys on this side, past a bunch of rowdy frat girls on this side, trying to outdo each other. Yeah.
So Mick will just keep walking then. I mean, if nobody's stopping him,
Yep.
he
You
just
just-
keeps walking. And behind his shades, he's looking out for where the Guy Fawkes
Yep. You head in.
display is.
Yep.
And what he's going to do is he's still using his cane to, he's like tapping it, and then he's tapping it against each of the cases and like reaching out. Because
Yep.
I imagine there's like little placards or something with Braille on
Oh,
it
yeah.
that he's like pretending to run his hands along to read the Braille.
Yep.
And he's going over each one. And as he reaches
Well, before you get there,
the
uh,
Guy
yep,
Fawkes one,
before you get to the Guy Fawkes one, as you're going through like the first couple, you're wearing a Guy Fawkes hat, right? Because you were going to do the switcheroo.
yes.
Okay. As you're get to this, the second in the row of these hats, you have no idea where in the line the Guy Fawkes one is. You see through your eyes that work. One of the frat boys turns to the other one and goes, and takes off his hat and starts sneaking towards you as quietly as he can. But he's walking straight towards you because you got the glasses and the cane, and you're Braille reading the cases. What do you do?
So I just imagine like as I'm like sweeping along, I turn, and almost as if accidentally I stab his foot with my cane by accident.
Okay. Okay. Give me a what skill do you think you'd be using for that?
Well, that depends.
Convince me.
I mean, personally, I consider that hand-to-hand weapon use, but that's
Absolutely.
just me.
Yep, absolutely. If that's
I have
what you're
3 points in that skill.
3. So that is a D12 then, right?
Yes, if
Yeah,
math
good.
cooperates.
8,
Absolutely.
10, 12. Yeah.
Yep. So give me a D12, and your intent is to stab him in the foot with your cane,
But make it look like an
but
accident.
make it look like an accident. Absolutely. Yep. 3. Okay. Wow. 3. That's
Definitely
a
looks
flat
like
out,
an accident.
That's a flat out no. You
I'm
unless you
playing
got
a
a card, yeah.
Not letting that happen.
Okay. And boost it. So roll a D20 for me. Let's see how we do. 12. Okay, that succeeds. you swing the thing, and you're he kind of steps in front of it with the other leg completely by accident and blocks it. But at the last second, you see that and sort of stumble and move the end and manage to stab him quite fiercely right on the top of one of his feet. And you hear,
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
oh,
sorry. I
son
didn't
of
know
a
you were
bitch."
there.
He tries to grab your hat.
Um. So
You can see him grab
I
his
imagine
and
like
reaches up to grab
I
yours.
try to act as if I'm off balance at this
Uh-huh.
point. And what I want to do is turn my off balance into a somersault past him.
Okay,
You're
what
gonna
skill
Willy
would-
Wonka it?
Yes,
Okay,
Willy Wonka
okay,
this.
okay. What
As well, Willy
what
Wonka
skill do you
thing.
think that is?
I would say agile.
Fair enough. How many points you got in that?
I have 2 points in agile.
Okay, so that is a D10 then.
I've also pulled a card
Yeah.
that says we've got to pull a con.
Yeah,
Recall a con that would help in this situation.
sure. Yep.
So
You're sitting in the control room, so yes.
yeah, I'm sitting in the control room. I'm pulling that security con because I've got the background with that. As I'm seeing what's going on with Mick, I call the security away
Yep. Fair.
and to try and help him, with convince those other guys that yeah, he's blind, but he knows what he's doing
Fair enough.
and all
So
that. So
it's just
hopefully
him
that
and
can
the
help.
Yep, it's just him and the punks left.
And remember, you guys do have the earpieces, so you
Yep.
can let Mick know if you need to put a little more down. You can.
So Mick, you manage to do this, tumble past them, come standing up on the other side, right in front of the Guy Fawkes hat case. As we cut to the other group. The two of you supposedly should have the easier task. You're going to a quiet corner of this part of the museum to steal a key out of a case. As you get into that area, you can see the crown jewels case. I mean, it's impressive. Just the case itself is kind of, it's pretty cool. Let's just say, I looked, as I said, it's pretty cool. I looked at Tyler and my brain went, the amount of money they spent on this case could have fed every poor person in London for a year. Tyler is even giving reality a sense of social conscience in this game.
I sit there, and as I walk past the case, looking at it, Ted's been here a few times in the past, just visiting the museum, but he walks by the case, and even though it's empty, he's still just not leaving prints, but like just the back of his hand, he just runs along the bottom edge of the case, like, oh, if only one day, and just and walks on past those cases.
Yeah.
And just looking around the rest of this chamber to see who all is in here and what we have in play, and start looking at the key case now, with which you never really paid as much attention to. You know where it's at.
Yeah.
So,
Tyler.
Yeah.
This is, the tower. We've mentioned it a bunch of times. There are doors in this room that are older than the country that you live in.
Sure.
Yeah, like they as much as
they look old. They look old. Yeah.
Everything, like, there is just a sense of deep history about this place. But there's the party people. There's now Guy Fawkes parties happening. Like the groups of, somehow they've decided that they have to move around in groups of 5 now. So and they're all over. There's more pouring in all the time, but none of them are coming over here because this isn't the hat area. What did the two of you do in that situation? Let's start because we already kind of had something from Ted. Let's start with Tyler.
All right. Do we see the box that has the key in it?
Yeah, you got you walk all the way down the crown jewels case, and then at the end there's a series of small, again, very much like you're not in the other room, but very much like that. There's a series of individual cases. And there's a
And is
case that's
there-
very lit up, this big iron nasty ass pounded out exactly like that kind of key. Yep.
Okay. And is there anybody watching it, or is there just cameras?
At the moment, there's cameras pointed at the case. You look around, there doesn't seem to be any cameras in the room, and again, they wouldn't technically be able to use the information anyway, according to Callum.
Not only that, Blake will
Plus, Blake
definitely
shut them
notice
all. Yeah,
It-
and let you know that they're keeping the security away, busy with the Guy Fox peoples.
actually, you would also know that they were going to cycle the camera loop, so you know that the cameras that are looking at the case are tricked.
So basically, just doing a real quick tap to the piece. So, back at the cuckoo nest, we all sitting there blind.
Blake, I think that was for you.
Yep.
Oh, yes. You are currently blind, and I'm keeping security very, very busy. For some odd reason, our controls are actually working with these groups of peoples. They're listening to where I'm telling the guards to go, and they're following them for some reason. I have no idea why.
Hey,
Believe that comes down to because people were stupid. So, but
This is
yes.
you get the feeling that this is all going to end up in a documentary in the future about the Great Tower of London robbery, where all they took
I'll
was
be
a hat
by
and a
the
key. Yeah.
I'll be by the door. You take your time, Ted.
Yeah.
It's gonna
So Ted's going to
be,
actually do
be
the
an
grab.
entryway.
Yeah, and you're going to sort
I
of
think so.
watch.
I'm not a
Okay.
thief.
Yeah. Okay. So Ted, you're standing above one case. Blake, you're watching all of this from the distance, but yeah, Ted's standing above one case with Tyler sort of standing, almost unwilling guard to the whole thing, sucked along into a series of crimes that have yet to be reckoned. Well, meanwhile, at the other end of this of the museum, Mick, you reach for that case. The two of you at the same time as you reach down, you each get your own sort of sense of smells and things. The ones with the hat, let's start with Mick. As you get close, the first thing you smell is must, moisture, wet rocks, the sound of dripping. Next, you get the smell of, it's actually flowers, almost like lavender. It's a very, very sweet smell. It's actually used in this case as a desiccant to keep the air dry. The final thing is you hear someone whistling. As you reach out, lift the unlocked case, and touch the hat. Around you, just as you reach for the hat, you hear first 1, then 2, then 4, then 8, then 16, and let chessboard it out from there. You hear the fucking hat. He's got the fucking hat. We got the fucking hat. And they start to turn and tidal wave. Like somehow it's now their job to get you out of here, that you've stolen the hat. It's that, like, it's the party that's gotten out of hand right now. Everybody's like, oh my god, we stole the mascot of the other university, we gotta go. And it's that is starting to happen. So there is an outward flow of hundreds of people wearing 3-cornered hats while you steal the real one out of
And
the
I
case.
don't have a 3-corner hat, but I do have
Oh,
a hat that
yes.
he's like.
It's difficult to 3D print a 3-cornered hat. Yes,
Yeah,
a
so-
tricorn. Yes. So Mick, you touch that and bam, you're gone. You, and because this is kind of how we split it, you and Blake, you're sitting in the big comfy chair watching this, and all of a sudden, you and Mick are underground in a stone-lined tunnel, looking at the back of a solitary figure with a very nice 3-cornered hat that's now missing from your hands, Mick, just because it's got to be over there on him for now. And behind him, he's standing there with a torch, and behind him in a room, you see cases, like barrels and barrels and barrels of what you know would be gunpowder. Meanwhile, Ted.
Yeah.
Tyler's like, I'll keep watch. You walk over to the case. Yours is locked still. Or
Oh.
is it? You liar, you.
Well, I looking at this. Well, I have lock picking, and basically a little bit of a lie to the lock
Yeah.
that it's such a shame that they don't give you the maintenance that all these other cases next to you get. And so
Mhm.
2 of your tumblers have stuck in the open position. So I only got 1 pin really left to set.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yep.
You poor thing. You've been neglected. Um,
Yep. So you,
and
yep, absolutely make it, and you finish the. I mean, you finish the lie with which makes you very easy to pick, right? And then
yeah, that's
bang.
what it is.
Perfect. So that give us the let's do a D10 for that. I'm kind of
Okay.
messing with the numbers just because this is what you're good at. Unless you're even better at lock picking than
Well,
two others.
I've only got the 8. And
Only an 8. Okay, so yeah, give us an 8 then.
all right. And
2. Oh, Ted,
yeah. But
Ted. Yep.
uh,
Got a card to fix
also,
it? Anybody got a card to fix this?
well, actually,
I can't fully fix it.
Okay.
I can get it close.
I have a card.
Okay.
Um,
You're better than you think?
I, s- I, s- I studied for this test.
Okay,
I have a piece of
okay.
information critical to the success. So I know exactly where that pin's supposed to be at
Okay.
and where I have to set it in the lock picking.
Okay.
let
So
me
yep.
drag that
And
one
it says
off.
critical to the success. So yeah, you let's go with what we had. You do the move, it's wrong. You hear ding 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 ding, and then you click ding 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 as the alarm winds down. It's only for like 3 clicks. You look around, all it's done is, if anything, added to the mayhem. But there is a small price to pay because it was, there was part of this that wasn't very good. Your lockpick is damn well good and stuck in the lock. You can open the case, but you're leaving that evidence here unless you make a special effort to not do so.
Yeah, I'm not gonna leave the obvious evidence. So
Yep.
I will sit there, and if I can't work it out, it's gonna be a matter of cheek and
At
just
least snap
snap
it
it
off.
off.
Well, we'll give you time to work it out, because as you open that case, you smell, and even though you're across the room, Tyler, you smell this and get all these sensations as well. It's kind of funny because it's fairly similar to the other one. It starts off cold, dank, wet, and stones, but then there's a cold wind that's added. You can actually feel it blowing on you from one side. There's the smell of foul water. There's screams of pain and agony, the sounds of whips, the sounds of yelling. And then finally, when you open up, you've got that case open, do you reach out and, I mean, you're used to this by now. And as you touch that key, the 2 of you pop, except you don't go anywhere. You're right here, but all the people are gone. The museum is gone. That beautiful case is gone. It's now a dungeon. You can hear around you people screaming and yelling in the basements. Let's start with your reaction to that before we hop to the other 2 trying to blow up Parliament.
First and foremost, look around. Any tower guards?
Not in this hallway. As you kind of look around, this is petty crimes basically on this level. The screaming and the nastiness you're hearing is from 1 flight down.
Okay.
Tyler.
Well,
Yeah, I imagine that it's a hard cut as he like turns and sees the new stone layout of the hallway and hearing the screaming and the ricketing of the lanterns. It's probably just gonna like close cut up to his face as he just crouches down. Is going to try and stealth. Just
Yep.
immediately is like, Jesus.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I have 2 in stealth, so I will
Okay.
have him
So do
just
I.
try and
So that's a
drop to
10.
not be
Perfect.
visible.
Absolutely.
Doing the same.
Give us- yeah, that's an 8. Oh yeah. Yeah, you're just
Turn the light off my camera.
yeah, go into dark mode. You can see the number, like all of a sudden the numbers start to just you said you turn it in dark, so yeah, you turn off the light. So as you pull out your phone to do that, you see the numbers just start to do you take time to look, or do you darken it and put it in your pocket?
The numbers of
Your
viewers?
stream, yeah, your stream.
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking for vanity's sake.
Yeah. You just broke your personal record, which you set on the previous mission, and the chat is doing that thing where it's going so fast you can't keep up. Like Critical
Alright,
Role
we're
before
gonna-
they made it subs only.
We're gonna be try and be quiet now, okay?
And you see chat just it's still going so fast, but they're all typing the same thing, so you can tell it's just various versions of shh, shh, shh.
Don't want to get caught. If I get caught trespassing, I'm gonna get locked up for
And
good.
And it's just sneaky fucker emojis, like just 100 different sneaky emojis, right? Pooh sneaking and all the other emojis just sneaking, spy versus spy, everything you can imagine. Boom, back in your pocket, and off the 2 of you go. Ted, yeah, right with them. The 2 of you just flowing. Are you heading downstairs towards the sounds?
Well, I'm thinking that's where the key is going to be, like in
Yeah.
the pocket of someone in charge.
Mhm.
So, and also as we go between the very good stealth, also enhanced hearing.
Yep.
So I am listening between the screams. I'm listening for the footsteps that would be the ones causing screams, or
Yep.
looking for people to make scream. So
Perfect. I'm going to get you guys a couple steps further before we pop back over. You walk down those stairs, and Ted, you just said you were doing like you're kind of doing the like radar math in your head.
yeah,
Just before you turn the corner, the stairs go down, turn 180, and go down again the other way. And just before you get to that corner, you can tell from the echoes it's another long hall, but there's not as many voices in it. So there's either not as many cells or there's not as many people in the cells. But there is a booming stride of somebody marching up and down their thing, basically making noise. Like they're trying to keep somebody from sleeping or trying to just keep anybody from resting. And the other yells are people in the cells, a couple of voices screaming, "Shut up! For fuck's sake, shut up!" and shaking and rattling. They're going quite clearly going seriously mad.
okay.
Just before you step, the 2 of you can actually peek around that corner, and at the bottom of the stairs, I'll assume you time it right.
Yeah,
They've got to the bottom of the
And-
stairs, turned around, and just before they walk away, you peek, and it's that behemoth, the one that fills the door. They've got that little metal helmet on for no good real reason, a little skull cap. It's hide armor with the big metal plates. They just look like an ogre dressed to look even more like an ogre. And they're just and banging on the walls. In their hands right now, they don't actually have any weapons. They're actually got a pot and a frying pan. And they're so big, they're just walking down the aisles, banging on the walls, and particularly every time they go past the little grates, ding, 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 on every cell,
Same.
all the way down and all the way back.
What do they got on their belt? They got any keys dangling, jingling?
Oh yeah, there's knives, a cudgel, a big ring of keys, old school fashioned, like the old school keys, much like the one you guys have got. And yeah, like I said, cudgels and a knife. And there's also two little pouches on one side. One of them, when he walks, goes ching, 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 like it's got coins in it or something. The other one just looks nasty. It's stained.
I'm thinking that's his trophy bag.
What?
Well,
This is too small to have like a trophy. They're usually like,
oh no, it's not. Depends on the trophies he's taking.
does he have the key that we need?
He's got keys. I don't know if it's the ones we need.
down the hall.
We can find out.
Okay.
And with that, we'll flip to the other two. Mick, you grab the hat. You go to switch the other hat, but you're gone. The two of you, Blake, you go from sitting in a comfortable chair watching everything to suddenly the two of you are in this tunnel looking at what must be Guy Fawkes standing at
course
the
I
end of
fall.
the tunnel.
I could see myself like a character, the chair like pulled out under and just goes
I just boof. So yeah, you're
flat
sitting.
on my butt.
Oh, and it's nasty because you're underneath Parliament buildings and there's no drainage, so you kind of land with a splash.
Yeah.
Stand up. The two of you looking. He turns to look at you. He has got a torch in his hand, and he turns to look through the door and looks back at you, and he's going to throw the torch into the room. What do you do?
How far away is he?
How close do you need to be?
I am just gonna football tackle his ass.
Okay, so you charge at him. Blake, what are you doing? From the seated position, because you did this to yourself.
Yeah, I did. it to
Also,
myself.
can I just say one thing while I'm running?
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
You charge towards him, yeah. So here's your Irish accent. That might help. Blake,
I
what do you
can't do
do?
an Irish accent.
I've got-
But Mick can.
Oh,
I've got
for
full
fuck's
spectrum
sake!
vision, clinging, and enhanced intuition.
Yep. What are you doing?
I'm going to use the clinging to just kind of like propel myself to like the side of the wall there,
Sure.
and then just like run beside it.
Mm-hmm.
Use my vision to keep track of where that flame is,
Yep.
and try and just as he's being tackled,
Yep.
grab the flame to ensure it doesn't get into that powder room.
Perfect. I love all of this. We're gonna do more than technically the way the game is written. We should do one roll to resolve this, but I want you to both do a roll because you've each got your own sort of mini scene in this. Mick, you head towards him, just boom, 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 boom. What ability would you use to do this football tackle with?
I think it would be unarmed combat, right?
Sure. Yep.
I would say.
I played football against people like that. I always made sure I had a knee up when they tackled me, bastards.
So that's 3 points. So that's D12 for me.
Yep.
Is this Act 3 though?
Technically yes. So give me another D20. 17. Yeah.
And what would you like for me to roll?
Well, I would like you. We're gonna do this. You hit him just because, and don't worry, it's gonna work out. I know that's like a major success. You hit him so hard, you kind of take him almost out from underneath the torch. You just get, and while he was throwing it, he just kind of drops it, and it starts to roll into the room. At this point, Blake, you're running down the wall. You look down and see it rolling towards. As you get closer, when they rolled it in here, some of it spilled. There's a little bit of gunpowder on the floor, just enough, and the torch is rolling towards it. You told me multiple things you're going to use, so I want from you 2 D10s and a D8. But this is a very challenging thing to do. This is going to be, your hurdle was a 9-10. Yeah, we'll get, yeah. Okay, this is an almost, Blake, even though it was a 9-10. And we're technically, we're in the third
I've
act
got
and
a
it should
thing.
only be a 10, but never mind. Yep,
Turn that almost into a success, please.
Okay. Perfect. We'll do so, but Blake, the only way you could see this thing rolling towards that, you have got time to do one thing, which is just put your hand on the fire and put it out. So you can keep this from blowing up, but you are going to take an injury for doing so. Does that work? That's your choice. I'll give you the choice.
Yeah, because I'm trying to, because I do have a card
Mm-hmm.
where,
I studied for this. Doesn't.
no, this isn't. I studied for this.
Oh,
This
no,
is it.
somebody else
This is
just moved it
my
up.
Oh,
will.
that was just. I'm sorry, I
Okay,
was moving.
no,
my
it's okay.
cards.
Yeah.
No, I have this is in my wheelhouse. You can justify that success
Yep.
in the scene that pertains to your core nature. You can succeed.
Okay. Yep.
I'm gonna say Blake is very, very athletic.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a thin, as you can see from the picture that we have there, they're very thin and very agile. I think I do have agile too.
Sure. Yep.
Oh yeah, I did take agile as a trait.
Okay.
So they're very agile, and that they used to run track
Okay.
a couple years ago when they were in high school.
Okay.
So they have that burst of running energy.
I was thinking
so they
maybe
can
you
use
were part of the
the
relay
wheelhouse.
team, so you're used to you hand the torch back to Mick. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, you managed
Yeah.
to do it without burning yourself. I never played a game before where nobody wants to take an injury. Like just nobody's willing to take even one. You got 5 people.
You want to know what was funny though, Kevin? For for like the first 3 missions, I always had a card to deal with an injury.
Oh yeah. Anyway,
This
you
is
deal
so
with this one.
funny.
You instead of having to put it out with your hand, instead you just flick it back out into the hallway down by where guy was standing, and pinned to the wall. He looks at the two of you and says, "You don't look like royalists."
Um.
Why are you stopping me?
We, wha-
Death to the king.
because unfortunately, you don't really make a great martyr. You make a better public figurehead than you do a martyr.
I think so.
We can
Work.
set a fuse if I need to live.
No, that's not it either. I think you might be able to do more with words as opposed to just being very physical, if that makes any sense.
I tried words. They put me in jail. Part of the reason why I'm here.
Above game, me and my stupid history. I have no idea how to do here.
Yep, it's all good. All part of the fun.
So,
Yeah, making shit up as I go along.
like,
Yeah.
Mr. Fox.
Please,
So,
call me
like-
Guy. Or Guy. I knew I was going to call him Guy. Damn it. That'd be a
If
whole
you
different
do
problem
this-
if you had found Guy down
If
here.
you do this thing,
It'd be interesting.
you're just going to set off a chain of events that's just going to make life harder for your people. You go and kill out a bunch of those royalists. You want to know what all those other royalists are going to do to your people? They're going to put them all in chains or put them to the sword. Is that what you want to happen? Do you want to be responsible for the massacre of your people?
At least I'll have a chance to fight.
They won't have a chance to fight. You
They're
know
not
how
free.
you know how the royalists fight. They don't
Perfect.
fight fair. They will strike you in the middle of the night, drag you out by your arses, and put you to the blade, or put you to the torch, or take everything from you.
I don't fight fair either, he says, and he reaches into his pocket. 4. We're cutting away. The other group. You've got the key at the bottom of the stairs. You can hear, in fact, you hear one of them scream, "I'll be king one day. Let me out. You'll have lands. I'll give you all of Ireland. Nobody gives a fuck about Ireland. You can have all of it." Bung, bung, bung.
All right. So looking down at Tyler, it's like, right. So what we need to do is we need to time this. So once he comes back up, turns around and starts back down, we need to come in behind him.
Okay, well, we've spent enough time looking at him, so I think we've done a good job sizing him up. Are you
Yep,
sure we
yep.
can't just talk to him?
That there is not a man who wants to do anything other than his job. And right now his job is annoying the living hell out of those people in the cages. And
But-
he's happy with his job.
I don't. I don't know. There seems to be something else. He doesn't seem like
Did you not see
truly
the
happy.
smile on his face? No, he was smiling. He's happy. That's an actor
Um,
who's enjoying his job.
I don't know. Yeah, Tyler might like.
I'm not looking to kill him.
Yeah,
That's
but
never
you
been
can
my
tell
thing.
people how they feel.
You want to
Right?
try, then just remember you are. Well, he's already tall enough, but you're way smaller than him. So
He
I'll
wouldn't
whack
hit a
you.
kid.
Okay, have you not
Walks
looked at
walks
this guy?
walks down.
Yep.
Walks down and goes, yeah, I guess like waits
Yep.
for him to come around the
He's-
corner and goes,
It's just a long straight hallway. He's walking away from you, banging on the wall. About halfway down. Dung, 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 dung.
when was the last time that you actually cooked a meal with those? Don't you know that that's what you've always wanted to do with your life is just cook good food for people that you care about, not cause other people pain. So I want to have it.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
the lie to him.
Oh,
is
yeah,
that
that
he
is.
actually just wants to be a chef.
Yes. Oh, wow. I have the interesting challenge of deciding how true that is. Because that will decide how difficult the lie is. Okay.
I normally get a D10,
Yep.
right?
But
Because it's a
we're-
thing that I'm good at. But
Yep.
I boosted it, so do
Yep.
I get a
You
D12 now?
size things up, plus it's Act 3, so that ramps another one. So you get a D20 as you try and
Ooh.
talk a.
Oh,
Oh dear.
whoa!
Yeah, you make your point, and for a split second. Actually, no, the lie always works, Eddie. Sorry, the lie always works, Tyler.
Ruby?
The hands
Does
come
that
down.
mean that it's a success?
It's
But not for
you're gonna.
you.
All it means is you're gonna take an injury because it's the resistance. So the hands come down. He looks at the pot and the frying pan. I always wanted to be a chef, but they said I was no good. I'll show them. Get out of the way. And he starts stomping towards you. That you could feel it's working. He's ignoring you. He's going to go right past you. He's going to walk out of here with a new mission in life. But you have got a headache, like a size 12 side. This half of your head is size 12 and a size 8 skull. It's just like the vision in one eye is coming down. You take one injury.
Okay. Ow.
As he goes to leave,
Yep.
I do sit there. It's like, could we have the keys just to make sure that we keep them all safe and secure in here?
He stops for a second, drops the pot and pan on the floor like this is a person that can do one thing at a time. And he reaches down and takes the key ring off and goes, this is the one for the kitchen. And he does.
Yeah, you don't need anything else.
He goes most of the way around and then thinks he's gone the wrong way and goes most of the way around the other way and finally dunked off and it comes. And he just drops the rest of the keys, bends down. He's only got one free hand, so he kind of takes the frying pan out the door and up the stairs. And at that point, Tyler, you can feel like with every step, it's like the headache's going with him. Just
Okay.
It could come back at any moment to affect you. And in fact, if you try and do anything else for the rest of the scene before you're healed, you'll have to roll an injury die for the first time in 6 freaking episodes.
Oh.
But
Oh,
you
okay.
now, there's a ring of keys on the floor in front of the two of you. At that
We
point,
just-
not every, about 4 of these chambers just erupt. Arms are coming out like, hey, save me,
Oh.
save me, save me. I'm a king.
I got a headache. Calm down. Ow.
And we cut back to the other two. Mick and Blake. He's still not convinced. And he's reached for his belt. You see him pulling out something. It looks like a tinderbox. He's leaping for the gunpowder again.
I'm gonna play a card.
Okay.
Just the thing. So as he's reaching for
Yeah.
that, Mick reaches in to his jacket pocket, and I'm gonna chloroform him.
Okay, yeah, in a in a movie sort of way where it works very quickly.
Yes, yes,
yeah.
100% like the movies.
It's a movie. This is a movie. This isn't reality. Come on. You can't sue me. I'm a fictional character. One of the funniest sentences
Exactly.
I've ever heard that was Sean Bean on a TV show in a British TV, but never mind. So yeah, he's frozen again. You see him, he's just struggling to move forward, but you have control of him now. What do you do, the two of you?
I look to Blake. Like, you're better at this, but like, if you want, I could say something.
Hmm.
If you let them go, they're going to set this place off.
Hmm.
So
Look, we don't have much time. And now I'm sounding like Callum.
is he wearing like a doublet jacket?
Yes. Yep.
I'm gonna strip that off of him and use it as a makeshift rope to tie his hands behind his back.
He will not resist. But he looks at you again as you're doing it. I wouldn't have thought. What family are you from? The two of you do not look like aristocrats. Pardon me.
You wouldn't have heard of my family. I'm a hooligan.
So they took your country? And you're still here saving them?
They took my country off the map in a physical sense, but they cannot take the country from our hearts.
Well, don't you want
And
the physical
what you're
part
doing
back?
here, what you are doing here is going to lead to a lot of innocent people dying. And
They're
just
not
because my
innocent.
brethren do a lot of the similar things and do for many centuries yet to come, that doesn't mean I condone what they're doing.
Blake?
Innocents
add-
shouldn't have to die to reach the cause of freedom.
Blake?
If you
anything to
truly
add?
believe,
Sorry.
I'll wait until Mick is finished, but yes, I do want to add something
Okay.
in there.
Sorry, Mick, go ahead.
if you truly believe you and your people deserve to be free, just as I do, then you will find a way to move the hearts and the minds of the people. Because it is the hearts and the minds of the people that will allow you to make change happen. Because at the very end of the day, killing people isn't what's going to get things done. It's being excellent to each other and treating people like their brothers and sisters.
Okay.
Okay,
Blake, yeah.
I'm gonna somewhat kind of reuse a card, but
Yep.
play it in my own way because this is in my wheelhouse.
Yep. What's the plan?
I know of a family, and I'm not gonna just to keep it even. So everything is okay. I know of a family that used to live in England that kind of came over to the United States
Okay.
later.
Yep.
Okay, but they have a family crest. So they are gonna walk up and pull out from their jacket, their little outfit, the family crest from that family,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't remember how famous they were, what they did exactly in England, but it was well enough to get the Lee family to get them to come here to the United States. So I'm not even going to go that far.
Okay.
But they show Blake is gonna show the guy the crest,
If
the
you
family
want, I
crest.
can submit a family crest name.
Oh no, I've
'cause
got my
it's-
own.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is okay. If you really must know, it's the Minot family crest.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if
The
you actually
Minot
had one
family
or
does
not.
have a family crest, and I'm
Yeah.
very proud of it. Thank you.
My mistake.
So with that, yes.
No, she pulls up. So they pull out the
Yeah.
Minot family crest and say, "You know what? I may not look noble, but I am part of a family." And they show the family crest to Guy.
Uh-huh.
I'm guessing they were, because they have a family crest, they had some sort of nobility,
Oh,
or
yeah.
they were
Yep.
knight, something like that. I never researched the history on the Minots.
Oh, it's all good. You're
Yeah,
yeah, they
as
were
in England,
dukes or counts at
but
least, right?
we can
Otherwise you
do
don't
something
count.
like
So
that because they have
yeah.
a crest.
Yep.
So they show the Minot family crest. I was like, well, I'm part of this family here. And they do a lot, and I'm willing to bet that if you talk to them, they may be able to help you or know somebody who can help you.
As soon as you show the crest, he says, "You're one of them," and makes a third and final attempt to light a fire. I'm gonna steal a little bit of agency here. The two of you land on him with everything you've got. He gets one hand out, finds that flint, and just drags his thumb across it. For the nation. And the last thing either one of you see is the first case exploding. The first barrel exploding. Just when you see the shrapnel coming at you. Meanwhile, in the other space and time, you have the keys, the doors. There's people here waiting to be freed. The world's most dangerous chef is upstairs now preparing dinner.
I don't envy them. That you may have done more lethal damage than any of these in this week. So right. Walk down the hall
Yep.
after picking up the keys. You, what are you here for? And then start pointing the doors.
They all claim to be princes of the realm with a right to the throne.
Right.
There's 4 of them.
All
Tyler.
right.
Yeah.
So Ted
Yeah.
turns to Tyler. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, so here's the question. Do we let him go?
They just want they just got born into the situation. Are you guys trying to like all overthrow the government together, or are you all at war with each other?
They start that thing where they all talk at once, but it sounds like they're all saying the other 3 are fakes.
Oh, I think that's the issue. Is it any name that like Ted would recognize? Is it any like?
Oh, I'm glad you put it that way because Tyler's got a certain weakness, doesn't Tyler?
Yeah, Tyler's just gonna go, I don't really know. Like,
Yeah.
are any of these people legitimate, or are they just yanking my
So-
chain?
Ted at least has a chance.
So walking along sounds
Well,
like
Technically,
name.
technically because yeah, and so you gather the names. Technically, even with that as a disadvantage, Tyler, you would still get to roll a d4
Oh,
just to see.
okay.
Just to see.
And
A 3. Okay. You have some memories of some princes, but as the names get rung off, at least 2 of the 4 you recognize as being princes. Ted.
Okay.
What,
I don't
what
have
skill
any.
would you think? No, nothing. So that's a
I don't have
D6.
any history. I got,
Yeah.
it's like I'm looking at this like
Perfect. I love it.
other than
That's a
using
D6, please.
other than using perceptive
Sorry.
and
Mm.
deception to basically figure out who's telling me the lie. I'm skilled at
Uh,
deception.
Give me a perception. What is that? Are you
That's a D8.
a
That's one of
D8?
my
Okay.
traits. I'm D8.
Okay, so give me a D8
So,
then.
well, would that be boosted because it's third act?
Yes, so D10.
So
Yeah.
D10.
And in fact, that D4 would have been boosted too, but never mind because you got
I honestly I don't think that Tyler would know.
no. I just wanted to. I realized that mechanically you did have a D4, so yeah.
As long as one of
10.
them wasn't like some horrible person that
Yes,
like is in
that- okay,
fiction, right?
perfect,
That's
yeah.
kind of what he's looking for,
Yeah.
not necessarily.
And I'm just checking to make sure none of my
King
cards.
Caligula is not in this hallway.
Yeah.
You weren't listening in history class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I was trying to save make sure if any of my cards would do this. I have one that's actually that this is in my wheelhouse
Okay. Yep.
that
works.
that I'm gonna play because Ted is a con man and he's run these. So as
Fair,
he's
yeah.
walking up and down, he is talking to these people and he's
Okay.
getting them to give answer. No, answer my question.
Yeah.
Just no, I've asked you a question. Just answer me what I asked you.
Perfect. So that
And
boosts
he's
it.
basically-
So give me a D12.
Okay. All right. Jeez.
A 4. You come to exactly the same conclusion as Tyler. 2 of these might be legitimate
Legit.
not heirs to the throne. Threats to the throne is what the current throne would call them.
Okay, and the other two are lying?
There's 2 that are absolutely flat out lying. They are not royal. That's not they are. Yeah.
You don't like to lie to children. You want to tell them the truth, is what he's going to say to the 2 that are lying.
But we just
Now, what do
wanted
you-
to get out.
Oh, but why are you here?
I killed a bunch of people. The other guy's like, oh,
Oh.
great. Tell them. Yeah, brilliant.
That's
Nice work,
bad. Like,
dumbass.
did they? What do you mean you killed a bunch of people?
And I took all their stuff.
No, you really do deserve to be here. What did you do? And like turns to the other person that's in the cell next to them.
The other was, I stole a bunch of money from the king. Like a lot.
What'd you do with it?
It's all in a bag, buried in the forest. I
Where?
figure he can't keep me here forever.
Well, technically,
He asked him where.
Yes,
Yeah.
he can.
He describes a clearing in the woods and how to get there from here. I mean, you've seen enough subway maps and whatnot since you've been in London. It's that green patch around number 10 Downing, the place where these guys already did a mission.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of like,
Let me out and it's all yours.
that's not really my place. Like, you just admitted to committing a crime. You guys, and he like pivots towards the 2 princes.
Yeah.
Are you like, you are both brothers, or are you like cousins?
They're still, because they're not going to change now. They're both telling you the other one's fake. I'm the only real one. I'm the only real one.
Well, if you're both technically actually the real heir to the throne, and well, that would just completely throw this place into a total upheaval if you're both out there. So if you don't start answering truthfully, we walk away, you stay, we're gonna go look for some money. So now, do you want to say who's related to who?
One of them looks at the floor and looks back up and says, I slept with the princess.
That's okay. Did you like text her back?
That's a little
I
later on.
sent her a letter that what you
Oh,
meant?
well, that's not that bad. Okay.
And
And
flowers. I hired a bard to sing songs under her window.
was she like she was into it?
Very much
He's
so,
in-
yes. In fact, we were
Okay.
supposed to elope, and as we were headed out, Daddy
He's in
showed
jail
up with
now.
a bunch of guards, and now I'm in jail forever. And I'm lucky. Apparently, I'm lucky to still be whole.
Turns to the other one. And what about you?
I'm a prince.
Like, are you like the brother of the princess that this guy's
And he
dating?
he gives you a this is 1066. This is literally the year of the Norman invasion. So he gives you the whole story about the two warring parties and how this party's currently in
What?
power, but his family should
Don't-
be because they've got better
Okay,
connections.
you're all family. You all get along. That's the lie that he's telling.
Oh
Blood's
shit.
thicker than water. You just gotta you gotta love each other for
Oh,
just because you're all that you got at the end of the day, right?
Jesus, Eddie, I'm popping out of character. You just made me literally tingle all over because you just, with that one lie, no matter how much damage you take from this, you just prevented the War of the Roses. With that
Tyler has
one
no idea.
lie.
And Eddie
Yeah,
is
And he has
confused,
no idea.
and I've given you too much work in between sessions.
Oh, no, this is lovely.
Oh, great. There goes an entire book report.
They,
Oh, I have less homework.
It's less
Score.
history as
Yeah, but I already had to do it once.
So
That's
yes,
fine.
he nods. And says, that's it. And he kind of, all of a sudden, the royal comes out and he kind of just tries to push past you, like he's got this mission now.
It'd be
That's
great
it.
if I'd
we
unlocked
just
the
have
door
to work
yet.
together. And pushes.
If I'd
us.
unlocked the door yet.
Yes, well, he's pushed past you trying to get up. Yeah. Or he's pushing at the door. Yeah, I guess you technically had this conversation while they were all still in their cells. So yeah,
Yes. So,
you can see his intent. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
okay. So it's like, so we're all good then.
Yeah, I think so. As long as these guys didn't go, do a bunch of bad things, then sure.
All
All
right.
princes are nice from the
Hmm.
movies I've watched.
So Ted will go around and he'll unlock the doors. He'll go to the one that seems to be the legit, one of the legit nobles.
Yeah.
He'll unlock that one first and says, "Now, remember, best behavior." And he
Down
opens the door.
hallway. Yep. As they head
Um,
for the end of the hallway. And I mean, this is wrapped, both moments are wrapped up,
Yeah.
right? You've got your.
And he basically, he's
Yeah.
gonna, he's the guy that basically just was in love with the princess. He'll also unlock his.
Okay. So you let out the man whose only crime was being in love in a quiet and gentle way in a place that was not necessarily quiet and gentle. I like that.
Do I roll an injury
But
dice?
yes, you
now?
do right now. So here's the thing.
Okay.
The idea of you lying and preventing the entire War of Roses is, to put it mildly, diabolical. So this is an 11 plus that you need to roll to resist the injury.
To resist the injury.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Uh,
what would you roll? And when you roll it, you're also going to hit the macro button in roll 20 that says injury die. And when
okay,
it
so I hit
asks-
the injury die,
Yeah, and just it'll ask you how many. Just say one.
and I did one.
Okay, and then hit enter. It says you're
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
So your
Yeah, it says you're
injury,
fine.
the heady, does not prevent you from succeeding. So now
Okay.
you roll.
Okay.
This is a D20 if I've ever seen one. Like
Okay, sounds
all
good.
the boostings that you've got, right? Like it, I don't even have to do the math. This is a D20 as you, yeah,
That's I think 1 year older than
14?
I am.
yeah, a 14. You feel, you keep saying you don't understand history and you kind of, you didn't even like it in school. You didn't pay attention. You feel the whole world pivot around you. I'm trying to make this as personal as I can for a 13-year-old, right? You changed the world right there in that moment. You're not quite sure how, but forget the wrapped in plastic bubble wrap thing that you guys did before. You just changed the universe. Dum, 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 like that feeling.
It felt like really heavy. We did we did okay, right? Asked
Um,
the adult.
Yeah.
Feeling just a slight vibration like that, not quite as much as he, because he's the one that did it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm probably gonna have to borrow one of Callum's bottles when we get back. But yeah, did good, kid.
And
Well, I think the other people probably did just as good.
and bam, that's where we drop the thing there, because now everybody, it starts to go dark. That explosion comes up and hits you guys right in the face. Like it went off. He set it off. So you are pushed back into the infinite blackness, that space between spaces where you travel. The other two of you are kind of more just walk down the hallway and up the stairs into the nothingness. But the end result is the same. The four of you appear back in the Tower of London, in those two rooms. Mayhem, because the events of that day are still happening. There are now Guy Fawkes fireworks going off inside. There are people now burning Guy Fawkes in effigy inside and outside. You guys getting out of the tower itself. In my head, again, I talked about the Reservoir Dogs at the start of it. In my mind, this is how we end it too: is that there's fire on both sides and fire behind you, but the four of you just do, just walk out. As you do, if that's not correct, correct me. How do you leave the tower, each of you? Let's start with. I know I want to go last. Let's start with Blake. You guys were blew up. Like, as much as you tried, you didn't stop him. He managed to do what he didn't do in history. You literally dust yourself off. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm assuming I'm all covered in soot ash and blow up stuffs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why do these people gotta do this thing? I look and make sure that Mick's got the hat,
Yep.
and then I just say, let's get the fuck out of here.
Speaking
And
of Mick, with the okay, yeah, go ahead.
just
Sorry.
walk out
You just
and pretend like I'm escorting Mick out
Yep.
for being a delinquent. That way, because I'm guessing I'm still all dressed in my copy, of the
Yep.
security uniform.
Yep.
I'm like, nothing to see here. I've got this miscreant. It's just the one miscreant, and the others
Sure.
are still trying to after everybody else.
So for that, Mick, we're gonna say that your disguise has kind of been blown off of you in the explosion. So as you land back here, you're just kind of look like you. And Blake goes to escort you from the property. What do you do on the way out?
Mick just has this very sullen look on his face.
Yep.
And like he takes off his biker vest,
Yep.
sleeveless biker vest, and he just kind of holds it in front of him as he's walking, because like he's identified himself as this very, grab it by the horns,
Yep.
that type of person, and he doesn't comprehend failure. Like he doesn't like failure doesn't exist for him.
Yep.
And I just feel like as he's walking out in this massive maze of Guy Fawkes and there's fires all around, he just lets go as his hands just fall to his side, and he just tosses his biker vest to the ground, and he's now just wearing it's I don't know, like that, like if you could imagine the second bat suit from the Nolan films, the very flexible one.
Okay.
But like that style of body armor just on his chest,
Yep.
and he unzips that and just tosses it down. So he is just now wearing basically like one of like the track style suits that the other Guy Foxes were wearing, the ones with the numbers on them. And then he just steals one of their bibs, flips it around, and he just puts a sad face on the bib,
Yeah.
and he just looks over to Blake.
As you look up to say something to Blake, you see behind them a poster on the wall. It says, "Vote Marcus Bibbs for King." And at the bottom, there's that little thing that says approved by the Martin Bibbs for King campaign. You look around, there's other ones. King is now apparently an elected position.
Oof.
Hey, that's gonna be change.
And the last thing, just like as we zoom out from where Blake and Mick is
Yep.
Mick just sees that and looks over. We done fucked up.
Big time.
Yeah,
Hope the other guys are
we'll
did
see.
good.
I like the idea that you think you fucked up. We'll see. Meanwhile, the other two, you come back. I'm not sure that you visually would see much. There was no War of the Roses. You prevented that, but I don't know how day-to-day, moment-to-moment you would notice that. So, you don't. You come back, look around, and
Good.
the England that you left is the England that you came back to is more or less the one that you left.
But so the case for the crown jewels is still there?
It is there, but when you start looking into the history, there's the two families did this, and sort of there was some very complicated, scribing going on as to who was in order. But the two families, from what you can tell, give me a week to work out the details. But the two families, that the Tudors and the other ones, came to they didn't co-rule, but they developed a table of kings in order. And so there was still a king up until about 1605, and since then we voted for them.
Uh,
And since 1605 is when you knew where the other ones were going.
it was
Yeah.
the Tudors was the government that came after. It was Lannister and York,
Yeah.
Lancaster and York were the
Yeah.
houses.
So yeah, 1066. It was the invasion. I got yes. I'm messing with history. We do that. This is because
You weren't messing with
1066 was
right
no,
and
it's all
center.
good.
What are you talking about?
1066 was the
Um,
Battle of Hastings. It was
Yeah.
totally different world. But we've already changed it 4 times. So tonight with the
What's the
fifth.
fifth?
So that's the Englands you come back to. The safety bubble wrap is gone. It appears that the order you do these in changes the changes. So only the most recent apply. Otherwise, I'd go nuts.
So looking around, it's like, Tyler, looks like you can pull your skateboard back out.
Do we see Mickey and Blake leaving, like ahead of us?
Yeah, you can see them in the distance. Tyler, your phone buzzes. A buzz you've never heard before.
Okay. What is it?
You pull it up, and you hit the button. YouTube is sending you
A play button?
the big giant, the trophy. Or Twitch or whoever your platform is, they're sending you the thing, the Wumpus or whatever
Yeah.
the hell it is. Yeah.
Huh.
They're sending you the 1,000,000 subs.
He's gonna look at his
Or
phone.
let's go with
look at-
100,000. The 100,000
Look
first.
at
Yeah.
ooh,
We'll get
look
you
at
to-
his
we'll
phone
get you to the
and
1,000,000 at the end
realize
of the
that he's
series.
not gonna have to work for the rest of his life if he keeps this up.
Yep.
And he kind of smiles and then he looks up and he sees there's billboards for electing kings
Yep.
and growing up as an American.
Yep.
That's a bad thing. And then he looks over and sees Mickey throw his like leather jacket onto the ground, and their heads kind of like hung low, and he's gonna I'm gonna go skate freely, and is gonna throw on a playlist, turn off the live stream, and just really solemnly, like not solemnly, but like lots of thoughts for a 13-year-old boy's brain.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just like blast a sad Billie Eilish song. What was I made for? And just like slowly like rip through the evening on some secluded kind of winding roads in downtown London.
Ted
Easy
is
to do.
going to basically seeing some of what Tyler saw. He does walk over and pick up Mick's vest and just kind of rolls it up, stuffs it in his backpack, and just makes sure that the key is still in his pack as he's putting it in. Yep, we're good. And then
Yep.
starts nervously eyeing billboards as he starts making his way back towards Callum's.
Perfect. We're going to drop the curtain there. And I am going to personally, I always thank people, but tonight I'm specifically going to thank Solar and Primus Aaron. I took away your agency tonight. Absolutely, categorically did it. I said I was going to do it, and then I did it. And I'm not going to say there was a reason for doing it. I just didn't. I didn't feel like you'd really won that conversation, so it blew up. So thank you for not saying, "Hey, don't we get a roll on that last one?" Because
I was rolling with the punches
the
on
story
that one.
to me, the story was better with that moment of failure and that moment of
Oh, yeah.
explosion. So thank you both for that. I know it can be tough to fail in games where, especially if you got me as a GM, everybody always succeeds. So I appreciate very, very much the fact that you guys took that one in the chest tonight. I also really appreciate the response, particularly from Mickey. That, oh God, I failed. Like, what do I do? Thank you for that, both of you.
It hasn't quite hit Blake yet. It'll probably hit Blake next week.
Well, wait till you see. Yeah, you can process that on the way to Callum's, because once you get there and see what ended up the result of all of this, we'll see next week. I'm not even sure yet, but boy, do I have some ideas. But the thank yous are not done, because I got to start with Indiana Jones over here. Sean, thank you for bringing Ted. The way Ted treats Tyler is really interesting to me, because you can see him resisting the urge to like try and adult him, because Tyler's a deep thinker, right? Tyler is not your mindless, brainless little kid who only knows video games, right? There's something special going on in there. So I love the idea of just sort of, I see you as sort of like the protector, like this kid's doing crazy shit, I just make sure nobody hits him. Right? It keeps working, but one of these days somebody's gonna thump him, right?
How do we learn from what happens in this situation? What do we do?
And yes, so thank you for that. And Eddie, you always bring something interesting. Every one of your characters is interesting. And a 13-year-old with a moral conscience that just sort of makes every adult in the area feel guilty about their life choices is just, it's so iconic. I love it. That you're at that perfect age. When you first said they're 13, I kind of went, oh shit. But now I see why, right? That innocence, that no, you can do it this way. We can do it this way, and believing it so much that it becomes true. I love this character, so thank you.
Because he hasn't been jaded by reality yet.
You also
Thank you.
as a player, thank you for taking a fucking injury die after 6 episodes.
Yeah, of course.
A total of 11 episodes of this.
Kill my
game
character.
system.
Do it.
1 damage out of 5, and it's gonna go away as soon as you get back. So,
Oh,
thank
wonderful.
you. Yeah, thank you all so much for this. I appreciate it. 2 thank yous left to all the people in chat. You kind of came and went over the course of the night, but thank you all so much for watching. People watching the VOD, thank you for that too. And the people watching on YouTube, thank you. If you watched all the way to here, please hit the buttons at the bottom, because we're going to presume you liked it. So if you didn't, go ahead and hit the dislike button. We got our very first dislike. 426 videos went up. We got our very first dislike the other day, and no comment to go with it. So, woohoo!
Oh,
That's
ooh,
disappointing.
Yeah.
maybe it was a
yeah,
misclick.
it's a milestone, and apparently, according to YouTube algorithm, there's no difference. It's all counts as engagement. So,
Yay.
so thank you to everybody everywhere that watched this. I am loving this game. I know it's weird. I know it's not D&D. I know it's weird. It's not like regular role play. So thank you to all these people for playing this weird game with me. I'm loving it. Till next time, please be nice to each other. Good night.
Thank you, Kevin.
You're very welcome.
Thank
I was waiting for
you.
that. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.